This is going to be the last of your basic tutorials. I have gone over all of the things in the toolbar, all of the things in these windows, and all of the tabs at the top. Now obviously there are still a lot of things you could do, but I have given you the basic understanding of what you will need to create a magazine layout. The last thing I want to show you is the right-click tool. When you have an object, or a picture, or a text box, you have the ability to right-click on that box. Make sure you have the black arrow, you select that object, and you right-click. As I said in your tabs tutorial, this right-click is also all found in these different tabs, but the right-click gives you the ability to quickly cut, copy, paste, zoom, and then there's this transform button, which can be used for various reasons. I often like it for scale. If I'm trying to make boxes that are consecutively getting smaller, I would use it for scale. You can rotate it. You can also use this flip horizontal. Let's say you have a picture in there and maybe you want to flip it so it looks like it's going the other way. The next thing you want to use, I'm going to click off of this so those tabs go away. The next thing that you will use that can be really important and helpful is this arrange tool. If you want to layer different things in your document, you need to decide which one's in front and which one's in back. So I will show you how to use that, but I need another object. If I add another box here, and change the color, and let's say I want that box to be behind the green box. What I can do is select one of the two, right-click, arrange, and I can say send to back. Now the green box is on top of that box, so that's what the arrange tool is for. The select tool is helpful if you have a lot of things and you can't figure out how to get it selected. Basically what it is it says select the next object below or above. That is if you have lots of things layered on top of each other. You can also lock an object. That allows you to make sure it doesn't move out of its place. If you want to align things and make sure they don't, they all align around one particular picture or text box, then you can go ahead and lock that one in place. You can hide it. I wouldn't recommend hiding it unless it's just a temporary thing and you go back and unhide it fairly quickly, because if you hide it and you forget it's there, sometimes it will print and you will wonder where it's coming from. So lock and hide. Stroke is the same thing you have in the top key. You'll notice in Adobe's products you can find a lot of the same options in a lot of different places. So for stroke, you can get it here, you can get it there, and you can also get it over here on the toolbar. Fitting. This is going to be very critical when we start learning about placing pictures, but essentially just telling anything you put inside that box, how do you want it to fit? Do you want it to fill the frame? Do you want it to stay proportionate? Whatever the options you choose will be gone over in the photo tutorial. The thing that I use the right click for most is probably the effects tab. The effects tab gives you the ability to kind of, I guess, spice up the object, make it look a little more in depth. One thing you can do is change the transparency, but as I said before, you can also change the transparency right up here in this tab. The drop shadow, inner shadow, all of those things, the best way to get to them is through right-clicking and going to this effects bar. What you'll notice is there's a preview button in the bottom left-hand corner. Make sure that is selected. Within this effects tab, there are also many other sub-tabs. So if you want to go through and test out the different things, you can go through and check them. If you want to edit those things, you have to click them and highlight them. Then you can change all of these different things, changing the size. Right now I'm changing the bevel. I can change the type. This is where I was saying there are just so many options. Let's say I take off that one, I just have an inner glow. Within the inner glow, I can change all of that. I can change it to precise. Okay, and just playing around with these and figuring out which ones you like. I like the drop shadow. It's simple. I can change the size of it. See how it's getting more spread out. I can change the way it spreads, okay, to make it darker. I can use the multiply tab, which I can do darken if I want it to be a darker black. I can change the angle where I want it to be on the picture. There are lots of things that you can do within this tab. You can even change the effect for just the stroke or just the fill. I don't suggest that unless you have something very specific in mind, but there are just 100 different options even within this one small box. Other than the effects tab, most of these things can be found somewhere else. But I do find it convenient to simply right click to be able to do all of these things. And at the very bottom you have your display performance, which we talked about earlier. You choose which one you would like. With all of these basic tutorials, you've probably seen some repeats, things that are located in various places. It is about user comfort. You find the place that you feel most comfortable with. It might be right click, it might be your windows over here, it might be the tabs at the top. Whatever works best for you, you'll figure that out over time. But